Hey everybody, it's Chrissy. This is my first YouTube video, so bear with me. Don't have the best lighting, putting it off of my camera on my phone, so wish me luck. So, Velocity CashFlow Banking. I'm wanting to put this video out, hopefully to help anybody I can. I know it's changed my life. I just turned 50. I live in Colorado. I was in Milwaukee for 10 years before living here. And I'm also from Missouri. So I grew up in Missouri, moved to Milwaukee for 10 years, and now I've been in Colorado for around 12 years. And found all kinds of videos on, you know, how can I make my money without going and working a second job. So that's, like I said, a little bit of transparency about, I'm wanting to help as many people as I can. I'll try to answer as much as I can. I do still work a full-time job. So if I'm a little late on commenting, please bear with me. I will get your comments answered. So here, I think the very first thing is, I think we need to change our relationship with money. I think that's what it was. We've all been taught, go to school. Some of us, go to school, get a good job, buy a home, pay your payments, pay your 30-year mortgage, pay this, or don't buy a home and just rent. So we've all been taught different things from, when we were younger, and, work 40 years and then, get your Social Security at 65, and we all know how that worked out for everybody. So here's where, thank gosh, I found this about a year and a half ago, and I have put it to the test and helped, not a ton of people, but I've helped quite a few people just run their numbers and help them on what they need to do, hopefully to make themselves, their money make money for themselves, and to actually get out of debt, where you start, sitting there, everybody always says financially free. Financially free for me doesn't mean making $1 million. Financially free means that I make way more money than I'm going out and spending, and my debts are paid, and I have more cash flow coming in that I can actually, put into a business, put into property where I can, use it as rental income or whatever, or, just anything, or just put it in savings. We all know, as we get older, we have less years to work. So I'm thinking, hey, I got 15 more years that I got to put in as much as I can, and I got to make up for all those years when I made a good living and wasn't the best money manager. And so here's a quick thing. People, some people call it velocity banking. Some people call it cash flow banking. I call it velocity cash flow banking because it is all about the cash flow. And when I say cash flow, that means that you have a certain amount of expenses and you're able to lower those expenses by paying off your debt, which then increases your cash flow. So you get paid, your money goes into your checking account, and then your checking account then normally pays your expenses. Well, in Velocity CashFlow Banking, what we do is we use a debt tool. It could be a HELOC, personal line of credit, credit card. It could be a checking line of credit. A lot of people have checking line of credits with certain banks where you just kind of write yourself your own check, but then you pay payments to it off your checking account. So we need to change our relationship with our money and our credit. I wish 45 years ago this was taught, or even 40 years ago this was taught in school. I wouldn't be where I am now. I'm way better than I was 18 months ago, but I would have been way better probably in my 30s instead of now being in 50 and where I'm at now. So we need to also learn to use other people's money by either using credit card, personal line of credit, checking line of credit, HELOCs, business line. We need to use the bank's money to make us money or to save us interest on the loans and the payments we're already making. What is the difference between interest? There's two different types. The main two types is amortized is one. That's like a mortgage, a car note, payday loan, personal loan, secured loan, boat loan, furniture loan, anything that has loan in it, that is amortized. Anything that has a loan in it. That means that once you pay it off, you can't use that credit again. It's once and done. And the majority of these are all the interest is at the front of the loan. For example, your car note, if you guys know, the car note say it's a 5-year car note, the first 2.5 years is like all interest. And then the last 2 years is a little bit of interest. So they get you right at the beginning. So if you're going to, this will still work even if you're at the end of your loans, but just to let you know, that's the difference in the interest rates. This right here are the types of interest. This right here is simple interest. These are credit card, personal line of credit, line of credit, checking line of credits, home equity line of credit, which is a HELOC, business line of credits. These are, you use them, you pay them down, and then you can keep using them, pay them down. They're revolving lines of credits. So once you get approved for $10,000 line of credit and you use $5,000 and you pay the $5,000 back, you still have $10,000 in credit still left. That does not happen up here. So we just need to know the difference between simple and amortized. And then we also need to let you guys know, I also need to let you guys know is what we're doing here is all we're doing, instead of using our checking account to pay our expenses, we're using our debit tool pretty much, our debt tool to pay our expenses. We're literally just using this as our checking account. So if you use a credit card as your debt tool to pay all your expenses, you're going to be earning rewards and everything else that you wouldn't be earning with your checking. Excuse me. And also too is when we use this system, I'm going to bring up Sean's numbers here in just a minute. When we use the system, every time you make a payment to the debt tool, you automatically satisfy that monthly payment. So I'll show you on the next slide what I mean by that, meaning that if you put $5,000 on a checking line of credit that you had $10,000, that $5,000 might say that you owe $250 in the month. Well, if you're putting your income in twice a month, every time you get paid, you're automatically paying the minimum payment. So you're not adding any more payments to your current monthly payments. So this right here is in a nutshell. I'm going to start the next video. It'll just go right into the next screen. It won't be actually a separate video. I'll just cut it and go into there, I'm hoping. And then we'll go into Sean's numbers. And if you have any questions, please leave comments and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. And also too, I'm asking everybody is, does anybody have checking accounts that actually are earning, over 1% interest rates, or any savings accounts that are earning over 1% interest rates? And if so, what is the balance you have to have, and what bank is it that you're actually earning that? Because right now I'm not finding a ton of checking accounts that when you use your debit card, you get all these rewards back like you do with Cashback Discover, Cashback Capital One, and stuff like that. So I'm just trying to find out who gets. Hey, it's Chrissy. Here we are to our numbers finally. Please excuse any lighting or technical malfunctions. I'm still getting used to the video. I might be going in and out of the screen, so I'm trying to still get used to videoing. So this is a guy I helped. His name is Sean. We started in April. So here are his 6 numbers. He's got an income of $23,93.29. His expenses are a little over $2,000. Total of debt about $15,500. Cash flow, this is what he's got extra left over at the end of the month. And we're going to be using a credit card that he just got not too long ago. It's got an $8,500 limit, 0 balance, and he's at a 0% all the way up until May of 2021. And he's got some really good rewards there. If we use the card, he'll be able to get quite a few cash back in the first 3 months. And he's got a little bit of savings at $1,220. We're going to use the debt tool. 70% of that debt tool, we don't want to go above 70%. We want to stay right there, 70% or lower, just because of the direct debt to income ratio, DTI, or the utilization for the credit card. So $59.50 is what we're going to try to stay at to keep a balance on that debt tool and to not go higher than that. Again, the income goes right into the checking. Checking pays for the debt tool, and then the debt tool pays all the expenses. We just got lucky that his rent he's able to pay with his credit card. So that's even better, because there's a lot of mortgages and car notes that you can't pay with a credit card. There's other options that you can, but you can't pay. You can't just call them up and give them your credit card number. So we just got lucky that all of his expenses can be paid with a credit card. Here's his 4 debts he wants to pay off. Student loan at 6%, a little over $5,000, and he's at $403 a month. He has 13 more months left, and actually 13 more months and the student loan, and $142 of that goes to interest every single month of that $403. So every time he pays $403, $142 goes to interest. He's got a car note at pretty high interest because at that time his credit score wasn't so good. It's better now, but that's why it's so high. He has a little over $7,000 he still needs to pay on, and he's got a pretty high payment of $415.07. He's got a personal loan, very, very high interest, but he's almost done paying. He's a little under $600, and it's going to free up $181. That's what his payments are. And he's got a credit card that's $5,000 credit limit, and he's got $1,497 balance on it right now, and he's paying $42 a month on that. So total altogether is a little over $1,000 that he's paying just in expenses just for these debts alone. So here's what we're going to do. In April, what we did is we paid off his student loan and we paid off his personal loan and wiped him out. First month before once we did his numbers, before we even put his income, his check in the debit reduction, because there was nothing on there. There was nothing in his debt tool. So we paid off the $5102.63 and we paid off the $597.68. That freed up $584 and in cash flow. We no longer make those payments now. So the very first month, we were able to drop these expenses by $584. And we're going to use that $584 and just put right back in and pay on that debt tool. So now your debt tool is at $5,700.31. We're under the 70%. That's good. His income's going to come in April. Now we're at $3,300. He's going to have expenses, which is $1,470, and you're probably thinking, $1,470, his expenses is at $2,054.98. Well, that's when we first ran the numbers. But now he freed up. He doesn't have these two payments anymore. So he freed up. So if you take $2,054.98 minus $584, you're down to $1,470.98. Second month, May, he gets paid, his income. Now we're at $2,384. Expenses come out, $1,470. Now we're down to $3,855.69. We can go as high as $59. I want to go ahead and knock out that credit card. Let's just get that paid off. Right now, we've made two payments on that credit card of $42 each. So now the balance on that is only $1,450. Boom, we paid that off. It's completely paid off. Now we're at $5305.69, which is the balance, which is still under 70%. And then in June, we're going to get paid. Pay with our credit card, all of our expenses. We're down to $1,428.98 in our expenses because we were at $1,470.98. But remember, we just paid off the credit card, so that $42 is now freed up. So now we got $42 extra to put towards the debt tool. So now we're at $626 we freed up. So now all he's paying for, is the car loan. That's it. So now we're going to pay down this debt tool till we can put a lump sum payment to that car loan. So in July, he gets paid, expenses go out. August, he gets paid, expenses go out. It just keeps continuing. So in August, the end of August, he's at $2412.76 on his loan, on his balance for his debt tool. In September, he gets paid. He's down to $19.47 is the balance on his debt tool, and we paid off three bills. We paid off three of the debts, and we're down to $19. So we've almost got the debt tool paid off in September. But remember, in September he's got expenses, so now we're at $1448.45. That's his expenses. So we're like, okay, $1448.45. He gets paid in October. He gets paid $23.93.29, but he can't put that money on he can't take his whole income and put it on the credit card. They won't allow it. If his credit card balance is only $1448, that's all they're going to let him pay. Some of the credit cards let you pay about 10% above that amount. So we're just going to go ahead, take our income. It's in our checking. We're going to take $1448.45 out of our checking, pay that debt tool down to zero, and then we'll have $944.84 left in our checking from that income, and then our expenses come out. We use the card, pay all of our expenses. Okay, I'm back. So we're back to where we left off, where I was talking about the income coming in October and we're paying it down to zero. Now that debt tool is down to zero, and then we got expenses that we have to pay out in October. We paid it on the card. Now our debt tool balance is at $1428.98. We have leftover money in the checking account of $944. We're going to put that right on the debt tool, make a payment. We're down to $484.14. Now I want to pay off this last car note. I want to pay off the car loan, but in order to do that, I got to go a little bit above 70%. But I'm only going to go above for about 8 days because he gets paid right after that. So I know it's a little bit, if I go ahead and pay off the car note, it's going to be at $63.80 instead of $59, but it's only going to be for 8 days because he's going to get paid. And you're probably thinking, well, Chrissy, the payoff isn't $58.96.71, it's $7,394. Well, actually, we've been paying on the car for 7 months, and like over $200 is going to principal. So we're down to $5,896.71 to pay off that car note, and boom, it just wipes that car note completely out. And we also are able to free up $415.07. So now we actually have freed up over $1,031 of our expenses. It's no longer here. It's $2,054.98 minus $1,031.07, which brings us down to now our new expenses, which is $1,013.91. So in December, we get paid, boom, pay that off. Pay our credit, pay all our expenses with our credit card, $1013.91 in December, and then in January, same thing. Income comes in, January, income goes out. We only have a $2,242.71 balance on the debt tool. We have no debt up here. We freed up all this cash flow, so none of this payment is coming out. We've completely freed this up, and we have this much left over every single month now because we're not making these payments. So $1,031, it's only going to take us 2 more months to pay this off. So in March, end of March, zero. February, March, end of March, we'll be at a zero balance for this debt tool. So end of March, we'll be back to $8,500 available credit because it'll be at a zero balance way before the 0% ends. We have a $5,000 credit card, zero balance. We could use any time for anything, but we want to keep our debts low. We have our student loan paid off, car note, we own it free and clear, or he owns it free and clear, and the personal loan is paid off. He has no more of this debt. He's paid off $14,500 in debt. He's paid off, and now he has actually freed up. This is how much extra cash flow he has every single month. He started with $338, and then once we took off all that because he no longer makes those payments, of his income, $1,397 is free and clear. He can put it in a savings, he can save for a house, income property, start a business, whatever he wants to do because he no longer has this debt. And another thing is he can go back to these credit cards and say, hey, I want a credit limit increase now. He's proved to this credit card company in 1 month, in 1 year, that he can manage a high limit credit card to get a credit limit, and they'll probably credit, maybe $13,000, $14,000. Same thing, this one maybe $5,000, maybe up to $7,500 after that. His credit scores went up because his utilization's completely down. His credit scores increased. His debt to income ratio is increased. I mean, this is a win-win right here. And not only that is, let's just go over the savings he has just alone in paying off these early. His student loan, he paid off 13 months early. He saved $1,846 just on the student loans, just in interest. In the car, he saved, I have it written down, $1,980. So he saved a total of $3,826 in interest just on the student loan and the car loan alone. I didn't even add the personal loan of what he saved because he probably saved like maybe $10 or something. He didn't save a lot of interest on it. Actually, he probably saved about $60 on the interest because he was at the end of his loan. These right here, like the car note, he's on the beginning part of his loan. So he saved $3,826 just in interest payments alone. So this should give you an idea. I'm going to do another video with somebody that owns a mortgage, that has a mortgage, so you can tell like some of the expenses they may not be able to pay with their debit tool, their debt tool. So that's what I have right now. I will come up with another video. Please like and subscribe, and hopefully the next video will be a little better. Talk to you later.